In today's chess video, I'm going to show you some deadly opening tricks and traps in the Greco Gambit that can completely destroy unprepared opponents. And make sure you watch till the end because I also have a special puzzle for you. Alright, let's jump straight into the game. We begin with the king's pawn opening, e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, and we are now in the Italian opening. Black responds with bishop c5, entering the Gioco piano. At this point, Black looks very comfortable. He's ready to develop his knight and castle kingside. But this is where things start getting dangerous. We play pawn to c3, preparing to strike the center. Black continues with knight f6, attacking our pawn on e4. Now, most players would calmly defend with d3. But instead, we go for the aggressive idea, d4, directly attacking Black's bishop. Here's the key point. Black must take this pawn. Because if Black tries to save the bishop, let's say bishop b6, then comes the punishment. We play d takes e5. Black replies knight takes e4. And now comes a beautiful tactical shot, queen to d5. This move does two deadly things at once. It creates a direct checkmate threat, and it attacks the knight on e4 at the same time. Black is already in serious trouble. Even if he tries something tricky like bishop f2 check, we calmly move our king away. And after Black's next move, we simply capture the knight and emerge with a winning position.
So in this position, Black has no choice. He must take this pawn. We calmly recapture with the c-pawn, and now take a good look at the position. At first glance, Black sees a free pawn on e4 and wants to grab it. But here's the problem. His bishop is under attack, so he needs to deal with that first. One common idea is to give a check. And even if we respond with a very natural move like knight c3, Black can still take the pawn on e4, because our knight is pinned and we can't capture his knight. And this, my friends, is exactly how we enter the Greco Gambit. White sacrifices a pawn, trusting that the activity and attack will pay off later. Now things start to get really interesting. As White, we go for short castling, bringing our king to safety. And now, Black faces a critical decision. Should he capture on c3 with the knight, or should he capture with the bishop? Most players immediately think, knight takes c3 looks perfect. I keep both bishops and I stay a pawn up. And honestly, that looks very logical. After knight takes c3, pawn takes c3, and you can see it on the board. Black has the bishop pair and an extra pawn. But here's where history tells a different story. If we look at the data, more than 13,000 players have gone for this line. And surprisingly, it gives White a dominating position. Now comes the real mistake. After bishop takes c3, Black walks straight into trouble. This move is actually the most commonly played move here, and it's a huge blunder. From this position, White wins nearly 70% of the games. Yes, White is 2 pawns down. Yes, our rook is under attack. But look at the Black king. He's stuck in the center. He's exposed, and we must keep him there. A tempting move is queen b3, attacking the f7 pawn. But after d5, Black can somehow hold things together and even castle kingside. And that is exactly what we do not want. So instead, White finds the best move in the position, bishop to a3. This move is absolutely brilliant. The biggest idea? It completely stops Black from castling. Now let me show you how White can crush Black in some of the most common variations. One obvious line is, Black captures the rook. Then comes rook e1 check. Black blocks with the knight. And now, rook takes with check. At this point, Black has only one option. He must sacrifice his queen. Because if he tries king f8, then rook f7 check, king g8, and finally, rook d7. A beautiful picture-perfect checkmate. And this is why the Greco Gambit is so deadly. One inaccurate decision and the game is simply over. Even if he goes this way, we can give a check with the queen, and again, it's a checkmate. Now going back to the position after bishop a3, Even if black decides not to take the rook immediately and instead plays pawn to d5, there's no problem at all. We simply retreat our bishop and the key point remains the same. Black's king is still stuck in the center. Because of this bishop, castling is completely impossible. And now, whether black takes the rook right away or delays it, the plan for white is crystal clear. You must activate all your pieces, bring the rooks into the game, develop your queen and knights, and start attacking the king from every direction. The position may not look flashy at first, but as long as you maintain the pressure, black will eventually crack under it. This is the beauty of the Greco Gambit. You don't win instantly. You suffocate your opponent. Keep the king in the middle, keep your pieces active, and sooner or later, the breakthrough will come.
Going back, if he tries to block this dark squared bishop with d6, you can then attack his bishop with your rook, and after a few more attacking moves like these, you will end up grabbing a piece. Look, there could be many other possible moves, but to summarize, from this position, white is always going to have the upper hand, because all these active pieces are way more powerful than these black pieces, which are going to be mere spectators throughout the game. So we've just seen how white can absolutely destroy black if black plays inaccurately in this gambit. But now comes the important question. How should black defend against the Greco Gambit? In this critical position, black should not capture on c3 with the knight. Instead, the correct approach is to capture with the bishop first. Here's the key idea. After bishop takes c3 and pawn takes c3, black is actually not under any immediate attack. Earlier, when black captured with the knight first, the bishop was still sitting on c5. And because of that, it came under attack by the pawn, forcing black into bad exchanges. But now, that problem simply doesn't exist. Instead of grabbing the pawn right away, black can calmly neutralize white's threats by playing a move like d5. This move does three very important things. It solidifies the center, it attacks white's bishop, and it cuts off dangerous diagonals that white wants to use for the attack. Even more importantly, the knight stays on the e-file, which prevents any direct rook or queen checks on the king. After white retreats the bishop, black can now castle safely, bringing the king out of danger. And he even keeps the extra pawn. And because of this solid defensive setup, the classical Greco Gambit isn't played very often at the Grandmaster level. However, this gambit is still extremely effective against beginner and intermediate players, because if they haven't seen it before, they almost always fall straight into the traps. So if you're playing online Blitz, Rapid, or club games, this is a fantastic weapon to have in your opening arsenal. So that's everything you need to know about the Greco Gambit. But now, it's puzzle time. Take a close look at this position. White to move. There is a clear winning sequence hidden here. Don't rush it. Pause the video, calculate carefully, and try to find the best move for white. Alright, your time starts now. Alright, so here's the solution. The best move for white is queen to g5, check. Black is forced to take the queen. There's no escape. After that, knight to h6, check. And now, the black king has only one square left to go. And here comes the final blow. Bishop to b2. And that's a beautiful checkmate. If you enjoyed this tactical finish, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you spotted the move before I revealed it. See you in the next one.